Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab, and I'm back in the book. I switched up a minute. I got some lesson I want to get to you. This is one of my favorite lessons, so every now and then I get a chance. I'm going to throw it out there to you. So let's get this lesson on. It's called Understanding the Process of Creation. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's right. Right is a 25 rule to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. This we talk through. But if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and to my yacht be true. I want to break down the creation story. Again, this is one of my favorites because when you start with this, it makes the lesson that you give. I'm in teaching mode now, so I'm trying to get the lessons so I can line them up, but you can learn them as you go. So let's start with understanding the process of creation. The mystery of Anu are considered to be the oldest expectation of the teachings of creation. He was the first. This is the first. Okay. You got 5 different creation stories, but every culture has a creation story. Egyptian, we had about 5 different ones. I'm going to take you through the 3. All right. This is the first one, Anu. And they formed what we call a foundation for the unfoldment of the teachings of what they call mystical spirituality, which follow in the mysteries of the city of Hecapata through the divinity in the name of Ptah. Is the Ptah, but the P is silent, like the D in some spots. Okay. He uttered himself in creation. Like he's the God that created the world through his mind and his heart. That's his dick. Let's go. And the mysteries of Nup, which is Waset, or better known as Thebes, through the divinity in the name of Amun. Amen. At the end of the prayer, don't mean so mote it be. It means the hidden one. I keep trying to reiterate whenever I get that situation, I'm trying to point out that to you. I'm not here to debate and argue. I'm just here to clarify and give information. With each succeeding expectation, the teaching becomes what? More and more refined. You're getting better at it until what? It reaches its quintessence in what they call the hymns of Amun, the hidden one. Okay, the all, the absolute, the virtue. He is the one. Okay, for that place. Thus, in what's that? Excuse me. And thus, while each of the divinities in the ancient Egyptian Trinity, God is 3. They break that down for you. Amun, hidden, Ra, visible, Ptah, the manifested. And we are the bottom of that Ptah. Why? We manifest just like he do through our mind and our heart, and we can make this happen. Amun is the hidden one. He's the spirit that's in everything. Ra is the sun. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't God. It's put there by God. It served God a purpose. So we include that in. Okay. Sun worship, meaning you respect that sun. Anybody here don't respect the sun? Without that, if that sun is a 5 meters left, right, up, down, now, it don't work. So somebody had precise precision timing. We give that credit to the person we call God. But they are related. And they break it down so you can understand it. That's the beauty part. They are related in their own totalitarian way. Why? Because they assume the form of what we call high divinity or supreme being with name and form. We can identify with them. Amon's still hidden. Okay? Ra is visible. Ta is here. But Amon is still the hidden one. He ain't changed. It's still what it is. However, however, as we seen, they are only representations. There we go. What? And symbols that representations with the name and form, we identify with it. And that's of the what? The transcendental androgynous divinity we know as Nebercha, which is without what? Name or form, who is referred to as Nebercha. Yeah, I studied before I come here. This understanding holds a vast implication for what? For your understanding and comprehension of the ancient Egyptian religious system and its message in reference to human soul. Why? Because the human soul is related to also the virtue, the witness one, the high one, just as the Trinity is also related to the virtue. One God. This process of creation is explained and from time immemorial in the form of what we call cosmological system for better understanding. Cosmology is a branch of philosophy, pay attention here, dealing with the origin. I keep the book origin things. Wow, I want to know the beginning. I want to know where it started from. And then we got that. And that processes, the origin and the processes and the structure of the universe. Cosmogony is the astrophysical study of the creation and the evolution of the universe. Both of these disciplines are inherent facets of the Egyptian philosophies through the main religious systems or the company of what we call God and goddesses. A company of God and goddesses is what we call a group of deities, which symbolize a particular cosmic force. Star Wars took that idea and been running with it ever since. They can make it do whatever they wanted to do. Why? They use the force, okay? Or principles which emanate from the all-encompassing supreme being we call God. Supreme being, ancient times, the virtue, the absolute. But from which they have what? All emerged. Everything comes from the one. The self, or the supreme being, manifests creation. How? Through the properties and the principles represented by the who they call Paute, which is the company of God and goddesses, which is really cosmic laws of nature. Told you the first five: sun, air, water, earth, and sky. That's all elements. The sixth, man, the beast, that's us, humans. Okay? But the system, what they call, or company of gods and goddesses of Anu, the first place, is regarded as the oldest and forms the basis of the Osirian Trinity. It is expressed in this diagram below. And everybody understands the breakdown. Here we go again. When I'm doing the tree of life, I take all these people and they got the names for them, the pictures of it, and everything to break down. But here, a little simple breakdown for you right quick. The noon was where everything started. You see the guy pushing the boat up? That's the noon, rising the boat. I can't get to this quick enough. You see this here? This is, what is a celestial boat? Okay, that's a boat, but guess what? It don't travel on water. I just come to this understanding too. This is freaking me out. I had to get to this. We got a mothership coming back, supposedly. Yeah, okay, all right. But we knew about spaceships. We had a boat that was celestial that sailed for millions of years. So it's maybe been a million years they coming back. But that's the concept. That's the story. We've been doing boats to get off across here. But the boat that celestial boats, spaceships, mothership. So don't freak out. Oh, they got the A1 coming. Yeah. Relax, calm down. Everything is a fear tactic. Every time they want your attention, they scare you. Orson Welles, the water world, the aliens coming, Everybody freaked out. 2000, all the community gonna go back. Every time they want you, y'all ignorant, they can do that with you. Yo, anytime they want, they can make you do whatever they want. They control the masses, and they know that. Yeah, y'all program. Okay, so people like myself and the others who woke up, trying to help others wake up, they don't like us. They call me radical. What's radical about teaching the truth? I don't know, but moving on. All right. But this lesson is the creation. I love the story. You start with the noon. Anything's possible. Everything is there. Again, unorganized. When Rod came out, okay, Tim is the operator, the mover, the one who does all the work. Rod is, the physical energy. So then you're going to start with Het Haru. That's the female. Het means house Haru. The world is Het Haru. Okay, we inside Haru's the spirit of Haru's world. God's mind, our thought process is Tahuti, our brain. That conscience that we got, that's Tahuti. We use that to communicate with God, communicate God's message. My pastor said he downloads his information directly from God. Okay, I understand the concept. I get it. Okay, and that's this thing right here. And my favorite, duality. That means you have choice. In life, one thing we need to have is choice. I hate mandatory. Don't like mandatory. Okay, so prison thing. Moving on. But then you start with the elements. What elements? That thing that rise up every day that gives life to what's on this planet called the sun. We call him Ra. The energy source. It don't stop shining. When you go into the underworld to do what? It still shines. It goes in, and we go down to deal with a prophet trying to stop the shine. Okay, another lesson. But yeah, Ra do what Ra do. He shine. And in the name of what you got, what? Shu represents the air that we breathe. We need that to breathe, right? The moisture from above to nourish the earth, Gab, and star deck heaven that we see at night right now with the moon and the sun up in there. That's new. Those are all elements that put in place before we can even be put all knowing, all conscious. He knew what we already need. Beautiful thing. All right. And it get religious. Why? Because I get the God concept. I'm spiritual, I understand. But I ain't got to ride with all y'all stories. I ain't big on that. But moving on. Shu, Tafnu. They represent air and moisture. Gab, earth, New, heaven. Asar, the first spirit. Number 6, that man, Malcolm the Beast. Yeah, we became physical. Spirit became matter. Okay, elements came into matter. That's us. And all the elements is inside us. The light from Ra's inside us. The air that we breathe. The moisture of the body is Tafnu. The physical body is Gab. And heaven is the heavenly thoughts that we have to go home and be our best self. All that's all symbolical, but it's all metaphorical that you can actually practice and make it real. You're the manifester of the thoughts and ideas and concepts that they teach. How about that? I hope it's making sense to you. But you got Asar. His mate was Aset. Together, that spirit and intuitive wisdom. Their offspring would be what? Haru, the spirit that's in me and you. We are aspiring to be what? Our best self, to what? To go back home to our Father, the Maker. That's God. So all of us are God's children, not the chosen one, not just Jesus, the Son of God, only one. Stop with that. If that's your belief, stay with that. Don't invoke that on me. I ain't got time for that. I'm not here doing belief. I'm making sense and giving you lessons about life that ain't got nothing to do with what I believe. Or I can care less about what you believe personally. If it's going against what I'm teaching, I ain't teaching nothing about the Bible. Why are you bringing me that nonsense? I'm just telling the truth about the book. I ain't going to do it. Moving on. I can use it to make points. Why? That's what it's for. It's a teaching book. It ain't taken literal. Y'all misinterpret the Bible, and that's not my problem. But when you have Asar and Aset, that makes us. That's the concept. Okay, that's it. Haru, the spirit that in you. But Asar made it with Netat, which represents mortality. That means spirit immortality brings on discernment. That's Anubis. That's your ability to discern what truth or false, the BSs from the real ones. If y'all didn't get it that why, because y'all got a bunch of BSs and y'all don't recognize them. Y'all go do them every Sunday and give them your money. Moving on. Set is your ego. Y'all call the devil, Satan, Typhon, and get a whole bunch of names. I don't care. I ain't big on names. Let's get what it is. Okay, the origin. Set is the idea. It's all me. He edged God out. He don't need God. He on his own. Okay? The story goes, he didn't even come out the womb the right way. He broke out sideways. he bogarted his way out. So that to give the impression of what the ego represents. They're trying to show you symbolically what he's about. And his symbol for the ego is a man with a hatchet to his head. Self-destructive. Okay. So that means if he is self-destructive, he don't give a crap about you. Set and that. They go together. Ego and mortality. That's the ignorant people who gonna keep reincarnating and keep recycling. Why? They're not gonna learn themselves. They're not gonna better themselves. They're gonna keep caught up in the matrix that y'all call it. Okay. Haru is the brother to Asar. I said, now Haru is the brother. He came out full grown. Okay, he's the man. He's us and superiority of master oneself. That's why I say Haru great. Means great. Okay, so when you live this life the right way, do the things you need to do, you become Haru in the flesh. That's what Christ was showing y'all from the Christian concept. I know that. Okay, moving on. But that's what we did in Anubis. Again, he's the offspring between Asar and that nature and spirit discernment. And these are brothers. Haru and Anubis are brothers. They come from the same father. Different mothers. We become stepbrother. Whatever. Remember, I keep putting this to. I grew up watching speed racing, and I got a stepbrother who was my father's son, but he always looked out for me. That was my racer act. I was speed racer. He was my racer act. He made sure that nobody mess with me. My protector, my big brother, my dude. All right. So in life, these are things that set up for you that you can have and manipulate and use to your benefit and profit thereby when you use it the right way. If you're using these things for selfish gains, don't worry, karma take care of that. All right. So now I just gave you the diagram above, and it shows what we call the pauche, or the creation principles. Remember, these are principles and concepts which are embodied in the primordial gods and goddesses of creation, emanated from the one supreme being, Ra or Ra-Tem, arose out of the noon, the primeval waters, the hidden essence, and began sailing the boat of 1,000,000 years. But he's not sailing on the water. He's sailing across the sky. Okay? Which includes him and his company of gods and goddesses on his boat. In the daytime, I tell you, he just traveled with Mayat and Tahuti, his mind and his judgment. Okay, order, reciprocity. That's what Mayat represents. So healing me in the daytime. Why? He got no opposition in the daytime. When he going to do what? He called his boys. He need everybody on deck. Why? He got to go deal with a serpent called Apophis. Okay, his nemesis, darkness. Okay, so he was the noon. He waits for me to call the dua. But it's an ongoing battle, night and day. All right, but which includes his company gods and the god and god on his boat emerged what they call the Neteru, his god and goddess, or his cosmic principles of creation. I say in the daytime he didn't need them. At night, everybody had to come on board, all hands on deck. Watch this. So the Neteru of the Paute are Ra, Atem, or Tem, what do you want to call them? Atum, Shu, air, Tefnu, water, Ged, earth, Nu, the heavens, Asar, man, Aset, his sister, wife, wisdom, intuitive knowledge. Set is your ego. Set, ego. The acronym means edge got out. He killed his brother, so that edge got out, conceptually, for the symbolically. Okay, and Nefet, which is Nef's wife, Set's wife, and because Set couldn't have baby, she had to go and get impregnated by who? Asar, who represents the spirit, and her son is Anubis. And guess who raised her son? Her sister, I said. And guess who raised Haru? Nefet. So they flip-flop back and forth. Okay, what they call them? They call them wet nurses or something like that, but the ones who help to aid the baby. Okay, y'all call them now nannies. Okay, but then you got Hethar or Hetheru, you got Tahuti, the mind of God, and Mayat, order, represents everything that's divine. And all these represents attributes. Again, they're only attributes of the Supreme Being as what we call the very stuff or substratum which makes up our creation. We call nature. Shu, Tefnu, Geb, Nu, Asar, Aset, Set, Now that all represent principles upon which creation manifests. Anubis is not part of the Enoch. They call Enoch the nine gods, okay? Ra made 10. But he represents what? The future, the feature of what we call intellectual discrimination, aka your discernment, and of the Assyrian myth, okay? He's also the embalmer. He's also in charge of taking you to the afterlife at the judgment day. He also sees you take you either to Amet or the Asar. But sailing, watch this. Sailing signifies the beginning of motion in creation, time and space. Motion implies that events occur in what? The realm of time and space. Thus, the phenomenal universe in which we live in comes into existence as a mass of moving essence. We call it the elements. Again, prior to this motion, there was the primeval state of being without any form or without existence in time and space. That's what we call the noon. Again, this is him in his boat. That boat, you see, it got rudders, it got oars on it, right? You don't see no power packs, no jet packs, none of that extra stuff to propel it, right? It's just a boat, right? But it's, watch this. I just showed you a picture. Tim, which is Rob in Tim form, in the solar boat, wearing his double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. Remember, everything is based on the headgear, okay? The crown out the white piece in would be Lower Egypt. The crown by itself would be Upper Egypt. Together, they come one crown completely, okay? And it says he's sitting within the sun disk. Sun disk ain't on his head, okay? That's the sun disk right there. He's sitting in it, on the boat. Cockpit, mothership, spaceship. I'm just saying. We was doing it, and they said the ancient, they got pictures of helicopters and stuff. We understood. We headed that way. When they get here, whoever they is, where they come from, we'll deal with that there. But remember, the worst nightmare that white man got is somebody gonna come and enslave him. And he's the original enslaver. So his biggest nightmare is he gonna be enslaved. Just gonna put that out there, how he think. But I just showed you that we have a thing we call the high gods and the gods and goddesses. I'm gonna skip by that again. That's fluff. I want to get you to show that. I didn't get that there. But we got God is Trinity. Okay, the Trinity of God is Amen, Ra, Ptah. The Trinity of the Assyrian myth, we got Asar, Aset, and Haru. The transcendental absolute spirit gives rise to what we call the high god and goddesses. And all of the god and goddesses in the Enoch have emanated from the most hidden, Amun, the hidden one, and the transcendental witness realm. This realm is the source of all that have been and will ever be. Sound familiar? It is the sustaining force which supports and maintains creation and everything in it all the time. When the supreme divinity decides, pay attention, watch this, wrapping it up, to end the present cycle of creation, what you mean? Yeah, you just suck it all back up in. But the entire cosmos will recede back into this most hidden realm. Hello. Beings and the emanation of this end, the principal cycle, the entire cosmos recede back into the most hidden realm. This end, watch this, it has happened before. Why? It's called the cycle or creation, is often termed the flood. Every civilization, every culture has a flood story and a period of what? Dissolution. That means everything going to just change. Thus, all beings, as emanations from the supreme deity, are destined to return to that source of all creation in much the same way. This is beautiful. The same way your dream recedes back into your consciousness when you wake up, when a person wakes up. We're in God's dream right now. That's what God is having human experience within himself. Why? He's bored. This is his entertainment. All right. from that perspective. All right, but in this sense, the primeval ocean is what? Consciousness is like a mental substance of any individual human being. Just as the world is created in the dream, is absorbed back into the consciousness of that individual, and no longer it reflects in the mind. It's just gone. I just dreamed, but what? I woke up. Okay. Upon waking up, thank you. So too, the cosmos is absorbed into the supreme being. Gone. Like that. That's the concept. And it fits. We do it on a micro level. He do it on the macro. Get the concept? So thus, there is a supreme, all-powerful being from which not even a single atom escapes. However, this realm can only be discovered, you ready? Through purity of heart. When Ra left Earth, the only people he will engage with from Earth is those who are pure of heart, who pass the test of Mayas feather judgment day. It all fits, okay? I know that. Upon waking, watch this, but upon making this discovery, it is said that the world has come to an end. Right now, we in end time. We always in end time. We stay in end time. The question is, how conscious are you of the now time? Damn, the end time. How about the now time? This is because those who have discovered the truth, for those who don't know the truth, you know and they don't. The absolute reality which transcends the planes of existence. Now you understand the creation as what? A dream or a mental projection of who? God. I told you we're living in God's dream. Once you get, y'all call it the matrix, the simulation. Yeah, but y'all missing, this is God's world. This is God's world. Yeah, we live in his world. You can call it what you want. Oh, but he said the only way to get to him is to purify your heart. So this is a constant cycle we're living in over and over and over again. You set the tone. Individual got the choice to make. That's what give you free will. That's what Mayat is. You got a choice. And having acquired this knowledge, aka self-knowledge, this wisdom, it means that you, the person, you have attained your consciousness of who? God. He gave us this to recognize him with. The pineal gland, the ancients been talking to us about. When you tap into that, that's God's transmitter. That's God's way of communicating with his creation. And they knew that a long time ago. When you become God conscious, I told you that. God's consciousness. And you have now discovered what? That you are and always were what? One with God. They say, I say, know thyself. The ancestors say, remember thyself. I got an argument with that, but I ain't going to fight right now. I ain't got time. But I'll take that. Why? Because once you reach that level, I know my pastor who reached that level. I got a mother-in-law who reached that level. I don't socialize or associate with many people on that level in my life. I know a bunch of other people. I just don't know. I like to be around them. Why? That's the kind of people I want to be with. I got to deal with ignorance to the left of me, ignorance to the right of me, ignorance in front of me, ignorance everywhere. Yes, I had to digress. Why? It's hard. Now there is no more what? Egoism in your individuality. My ego is under my control. I control my ego. A lot of people, ego controls them. That's not good. Moving on. And there is only consciousness of what? Of oneself and the universe as being what? An emanation of the one supreme divinity who is in what? The heart of all his creation. Bam! That's where God dwells. I'll be back with the next lesson because I see the clock is going, but I'm rolling right now. I'm teaching. Hoping you get this lesson. This is fun for me. Hope it is for you. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I'm knowing my right thinkers who now understand the process of creation have passed away. I'll be back with the substratum of creation. What makes it go? I'll be right back. I'm teaching now.